Hello, I'm back today with another video, this time on painting this small 1/72nd scale Tiger 1 tank from Vesprid Models. First of all, I wanted to say thank you for your great support in the past month. The growing support for my channel and videos means a lot to me, so thank you. Now on to the topic of this video. As you have seen, this time I want to show you how I paint the German WW2 three-tone camouflage. I started with a coat of red oxide primer from VMS, which will provide a nice undertone for the dark yellow or dunkelgelb. All the colors I will be using are from the current Atom paint range from Camo by MIG and are available in convenient paint sets. Since I will be spraying the camo with my airbrush, I'll thin them pretty heavily with a thinner from the same range, since they seem to work pretty good with that. But from my past experience, it's also possible to thin them just with regular tap water, depending on the size of your airbrush needle. For the base coat of dark yellow, I'm using the 0.4 size needle in my airbrush, so therefore the paint won't need to be thinned as much as later on. I tried to apply the paint in a somewhat irregular pattern to get a mottled effect, but later on you'll see that it wasn't really possible to achieve for me. Well, it was worth a try, I guess. Maybe again next time. I don't really have much to say at this stage, so therefore have fun watching me applying the base color. Well, there is one thing, and it probably makes sense to ask for in this stage of a video. If it's not too much to be asked, I would appreciate if you later leave a like and a comment for the video if you enjoyed it, since it will help the video and channel to reach more people. And also, if you haven't already, think about subscribing to my channel. Now, with that fun topic out of the way, enjoy me base coating this tiny tiger. Here you can see the paint scheme from the kit instructions I use as a rough guide. So now we are on to the first camouflage color, which will be olive green, olive grün, RLM 71 or just dark green. Here I switched the needle of my airbrush to the 0.15 size, and therefore the paint will be a lot thinner and consequently also the pressure of my compressor reduced. Don't ask exactly for numbers, but the gauge showed roughly 10 pounds per square inch, if this is something you can trust on. I try to keep the airbrush as close to the model as possible and to apply steady but light pressure on the trigger to not flood the area with the very thin paint. Unfortunately, there will be a few mishaps, but I'll just use this being my first go at a 1/72 scale tank with airbrushed camouflage as an excuse for being sloppy. Now I have to admit that I already really like the tank with just the green stripes. I'll definitely think about doing that in the future. So next up is Rotbraun or red-brown. Now this paint will require even more thinner than the green, and it still did pull up quite a fight. I guess there is a limit to regular acrylic paints. And honestly, I'm still quite surprised how forgiving the atom colors are. So now, after watching the video and having the dried tank in hand for quite some time, I think I should have mixed the red brown with chocolate brown to make it a bit deeper and darker. But this can all be readjusted with oil filters and weathering later on. Again, I'm even more careful with the trigger of the airbrush and try to not flood the surface of the tiger with heavily thinned paint, but some mishaps will happen. If you can do this okay in this scale, it will be a lot easier for you on larger scale models. So it's a good opportunity to train. The next step is that I create a lighter version of all the used colors and try to get slight color variation in all areas to represent slight wear and tear and, where applicable, fading. You can skip this step, as I would recommend doing this either with a brush and very thin glazes or simply later with oil paints. I mix just a small amount of dark yellow into both the reddish brown and the olive green to achieve this color. The effect is naturally more expressive and easier to achieve if the area is larger. Finally, I mix a small amount of white into the dark yellow to achieve this effect there as well, which unfortunately did not work at all in my case. At least I was able to correct some areas that were affected by too much overspray this way. And this is the finished tank, at least before further details such as the tools, tracks, etc. are painted. In the next step I will paint these with a brush and then apply a varnish to everything, as well as attach the decals, before moving on to the next step of creating a more realistic look with oil pin wash and weathering. Let me know if you enjoyed the video and would like to see more of the same. Feel free to leave me a comment. I've already recorded a few minutes of material on Black & MM, but when I got my hands on this little tiger a few days ago, I had to start building it right away, which went incredibly fast and was a lot of fun. Vespid models are definitely high quality and fair priced. I've also ordered the Meng King Tiger in the same scale, with the wrongly designated Porsche turret, which actually was designed rather by Krupp than by Porsche. I think experts still debate the origin of that mistake, since it even appears in specialist literature. Well, we will see how good Meng is compared to Vespid models in that size, but so far I'm impressed. Well, thanks for watching and stay tuned, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.